NASCAR said no, and days later he came back with something even bigger. He got denied for Talladega. Most people thought that was the end of the story. It wasn't, because now Cleetus McFarland just confirmed his next NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series start, and this one feels different. May 30th, Nashville Superspeedway. The number 33, Tommy's Express Richard Childress Racing Chevrolet. Same team, same support, but a completely different track. And that changes everything people thought they knew. Because the Talladega rejection was supposed to slow this down, instead, it made the spotlight hotter, the pressure bigger, and this next race suddenly means more than anything he's done so far. So today we need to break down all of it. Why Talladega became a war. What Rockingham really proved. Why Kyle Petty quietly changed everything. What happened at Kansas that almost nobody noticed. And why Nashville could decide where Cleetus stands right now. Ryan Blaney already punched his championship ticket. Kyle Larson had another huge day. But somehow, this story kept stealing attention. First, we need to be clear about who Cleetus McFarland really is. Because some still dismiss him as just a YouTuber who got lucky. That's the easy narrative. The real one is different. His name is Garrett Mitchell, 31 years old, from Omaha, Nebraska. He built one of the biggest automotive YouTube channels in America. More than 4.7 million subscribers. Burnouts, wild engine swaps, chaos, pure obsession with anything on four wheels. He bought an abandoned racetrack in Bradenton, Florida, turned it into the Freedom Factory, and built his own motorsports world from scratch. This is not some guy chasing attention for a weekend. He's been grinding upward for years. ARCA starts, seat time, mistakes, lessons, then a real multi-race deal with Richard Childress Racing. That matters, because every argument around him comes down to one question. Is he serious? And everything in 2026 says yes. Now here's where this story exploded. After his Rockingham debut on April 4th, plans were in place for Talladega. Then NASCAR stepped in. Denied. Instant backlash. Fans split down the middle. On NASCAR's side, the logic was simple. Talladega is not where you learn. Pack racing at nearly 200 miles per hour leaves zero room for mistakes. One bad move can wipe out half the field in seconds. Their job is protecting everyone out there, not creating headlines. Officials made it clear. This wasn't never. It was not yet. But fans didn't hear it that way. They saw a guy who loves racing. A guy bringing millions of new eyes to the sport. A guy who survived Rockingham and finished. And they felt the standard was tougher for him than anyone else. That's why this got so loud. It stopped being about one race. It became about fairness, about popularity, about whether attention should matter in opportunity. And NASCAR knew exactly how dangerous that debate was. They were balancing safety, credibility, growth, entertainment, all through one driver. That's not simple. Now, here's what got lost in all the noise. Rockingham looked ugly on paper. Toke Tradivand, 6 laps down. Spin on lap 206. 7th caution. Sounds bad. And yes, it was rough. But that's not the full story. Cleetus said it himself. Got my butt kicked, but I finished. That last part mattered most. He qualified 35th in a 3-8 car field. Completed every lap. Finished ahead of 5 drivers. Didn't destroy equipment. Didn't wreck others. Stayed out of the leader's way. And when Jesse Love lapped him, he tucked in behind him. Studied the line. Immediately learned what he'd been doing wrong. That is how drivers improve. That is exactly what NASCAR wanted to see. And then, something unexpected happened. Kyle Petty happened. Before Rockingham, he was one of the loudest critics. He questioned the message this sent. He said internet fame shouldn't replace development. Others agreed. Kyle Busch even joked his own 10-year-old son had more race experience. Then Rockingham ended, and Petty changed tone completely. If you're going to criticize, you've got to give credit. He said Cleetus did what he needed to do. Ran every lap. Didn't tear anything up. Didn't get in the way. Then came the line nobody expected. That's what he needed to do to shut up guys like me. That mattered more than lap times. One of the biggest skeptics moved. Not all the way, but enough. And in NASCAR, respect moves slowly. That shift changed the conversation. From "why is he here?" to "okay, now prove it." That is a much more dangerous challenge. And that's not even the craziest part. Between Rockingham and the Nashville announcement, Cleetus ran ARCA at Kansas. Started 25th, charged forward, reached as high as 7th. Then the engine blew. Race over. No result. But maybe something more valuable. Proof. Running 7th after starting deep in the field is real pace. People inside racing noticed. And his reaction told you everything. He called it a win, said he completed over 75% of the race. Had fun. Saw top 1-0 speed. Felt progress. That doesn't sound like someone chasing clout. That sounds like someone getting addicted to improvement. And Kansas may have changed everything. Because NASCAR approves drivers race by race, Rockingham showed discipline. Kansas showed speed. Together, that's a different case. Then on April 20th, the news dropped. RCR posted 4 words. He's back. Cleetus McFarland officially returns May 30th at Nashville Superspeedway. And now the pressure is bigger than ever. Because Talladega was chaos. Nashville is evaluation. No excuse. No sympathy. No easy headlines. Just pace. Execution. Proof. So what happens if he runs well? What happens if he shocks people again? And what happens if the doubters are still wrong? That's the real race now. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like. Subscribe if you want the real stories behind the headlines. Because this Cleetus story, it feels like it's only getting started.